Hey guys, I got to share something I've never told anyone before. But guess what? You're not alone in this. That's the real deal.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Real Room podcast with me, your host Ross, and joined is our two lovely co-hosts. We have Hayleigh J, and we also have Jessie. So I'm going to let Jessie take it over now.
So hi, my name is Jessie Cade, aka Jessie Defiant, music artist, singer, songwriter, producer. Been in the industry for 15 years. What a journey it's been. From a very young age, I couldn't find the words, so I put pen to paper. We'll be talking about that in mental health, how important it is to have that release, whether it's through art or having someone close to you to speak to. I manage multiple artists up and down the country. I produce for some of the artists, and some of them I also give vocals to. My experience, I lost my kids. They're away from me for 5 years. I've been a whistleblower. I highlight the industry's issues, especially with the government's decisions, schooling, mental health, domestic violence, and in general day-to-day life. I'm not afraid to show myself. Never been afraid to speak up, hence why Jessie Defiant is the name what it is. And I'm really looking forward to open discussions, and it's called The Real Room. Why not?
Thank you. And over to Hayleigh now.
Hi, I'm Hayleigh J. I am the car crush of the group. I am a barber by trade, but I'm also an OnlyFans girl, also known as I don't know the best way to put it, somebody who gets frowned upon in normal conformity. I also have a very similar backstory to Jessie when it comes to domestic violence, and I'm here to obviously highlight basically mental health. I've been sectioned, I've been on both sides or both ends of it. So yeah, like I said, I'm just the car crush of the group, and I'm here for the fun part, really. And I like listening to Jessie's music.
Thanks for
No, thank you for that, both of yours. Anyway, obviously, as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wide variety of, discussions to be talking about. So there's been a few discussions with ourselves prior to coming on to the show tonight, and some of the discussions that we are going to talk about, the topics that we are going to talk about. Hayleigh and Jessie are doing a 25 days of Christmas. So I'm going to hand it over to Hayleigh J now and let her talk about her 25 days of of delightfulness of Christmas, the run up to it.
Oh God, okay. So between now and Christmas, it's my job to do 25 dates. And basically me and Jessie are still discussing obviously what's going to happen. Each different date is going to have kind of like a task. So it's so the first date has already happened with Mr. Latvian man, which was a massive fail. Basically asked me what this was, talking about my double chin, and then I asked if I could go and get some snacks from the shop. Not that I asked, I said, and he told me that I didn't need to get any more. Basically calling me fat. So that was, mint. My next date, me and Jessie, again, like I said, we've been discussing, is going to be called the trauma dump date. I don't know if we've run this one by you yet, Ross.
I don't think so, no. So please enlighten me on the trauma dump.
So this is again something that me and Jessie has come up with. So my next date, we've got to basically see how long a man can stay on a date with me whilst all I do is trauma dump to him, and see how long he can basically last. So that's going to be date number 2.
Fair enough. Gonna hand it over to Jessie now. So Jessie, I believe
basically
you're doing something similar.
So the idea basically came from, I think it was like the late 2000s show, Balls of Steel, and you had a girl doing something called the bunny boiler.
Yes.
And it was a really interesting social experiment.
She was absolutely amazing though, absolutely iconic.
She was absolutely iconic. And the reasons why we want to bring it up is because actually there's more awareness about mental health now. There is more, especially with is it Me Too Foundation? And the thing is, like, guys will talk about they understand the difficulties what women experience in 2025, the roles, what we play, the masculinity, the femininity, the equality which we're looking for. And the thing is, it's still really blurry. And so a lot of guys like myself and Hayleigh have experienced, and they generally love to waste your time. Netflix and chill being one of them. They don't even want to take you out on a date anymore. So we thought, you know what, fuck it, we'll do an experiment and see where this goes.
And also, every guy wants a crazy girl, yeah? Oh, you know, a crazy fun girl until they see the other side of it.
What is that other side, Hayleigh J? Let's talk about it. So we did a double date not so long ago. I basically planned to bore him to death, and that is exactly what I did. I bored him to death till he fell asleep. Because I was talking about spiritual things, how I feel about life, certain protests, equality. And I think the pretty boy just generally didn't give a fuck.
And then I went the other way when all I did was tell the lad that he was boring me to death.
But we can measure people's intentions by the energy what they bring. And to be fair, like both of them, they were pretty decent guys. I got some flowers at the end of it. I think he felt
I
sorry
didn't.
for me.
I've got PTSD.
But do you know, like, dating in 2025 is really hard because we're all taught on social media about red flags, green flags, what they look like, what to look out for, what not to look out for, fucking narcissism. And do you know what? I think I can be on both scales of things, one being a perpetrator and also being a victim, because it comes down to experience. And when is it that you actually take things seriously? When you're a pretty female, a positive female, a strong female character, running an industry, running success, working with people, leading, guys seem to be extremely insecure on that basis. Mm-hmm. The challenge is how quickly can they get you into bed? They will literally tell you anything.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. They will literally tell you anything. And see, like my background, I'm a fully qualified makeup artist. I'm a fire breather, dancer, singer-songwriter, producer. I've been in the industry, like I said, for 15 years. I've worked with the theatre. I've worked with Pride. My campaigns have been all over the billboards in London. I'm really not shy of being out there. I've worked on Babe Station. That's another subject what we can cover another time. I've been published as a model, and people, when they see that as a resume, they go, you don't do that, you don't do that, you don't do that. And every time I show them, it's almost as if the person who they envisioned all of a sudden is too much for them. But then they want that girl, they want the motivated woman, the one who makes the money, they want the woman who knows herself. But actually, when it comes to face,
yeah,
they genuinely are just jokers out of a card pack, and I don't even know how to explain it further.
Well, we're the queens.
The queen makes all the moves basically on the chessboard, and I think that actually parallels with nature. You look at the praying mantis; she likes a bit of sushi, shagging while she eats it.
Oh, hang on, what did we call me the other day?
I called you the Black Widow. Yeah,
I'm the Black Widow apparently. But
see,
that's for a different story. That's for a different podcast.
I feel like Hitch. I want to like mum them, look after them, elevate them, and then they fuck off and go on their merry way to find their happy ever after. Like,
you're literally like Dog's Trust. You literally sponsor them and then send them to their forever homes.
Basically, yeah. Just lately, I came out of 11-month relationship. I'd been single for 5 years. In between that, obviously, I had lost my kids. In between that time, I had to do a lot of soul searching. Spiritually, I had to recalibrate everything what I knew and what I thought I was, and I had to go through extensive therapy. And to come out on the other side, it's all very well and good having the therapy, but actually it's no good until you put it into practice. And I've come into like 2025 again, single, and looking at life thinking, what the hell am I doing? It's really apparent what people want. You can add, block, and shag somebody in the whole day, and it would be nothing. Like, people think absolutely nothing of it. And if you want to have a serious conversation with somebody and share your dreams, like, that intimacy is not something which is commonly shared. People are hiding behind masks.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to tell the red flags to the green flags. Some people are quite obvious, but most, especially for me, the past 11 months, I was with a guy who I genuinely thought was really kind, really sweet. He financially exhausted me, abused
Mentally
me,
exhausted you,
mentally exhausted
emotionally
me,
exhausted you.
spiritually.
And by the way, can I just add something? Yeah, right. He looked like the kind of person that would sit in a leather armchair fingering his dog. I've just got to add that out there. I didn't like him, it's safe to say.
You could probably put him in a red and white
You wouldn't
jumper
trust
and
him in
stick
the
him with Where's
playground with a
Wally.
packet of sweets, put it that way.
It's really sad, actually, because his background, I'm going to call him Mr. X. His background is that his dad raised him, but originally from about 15, his mum and dad split up, and his dad was left there. And I just don't think that the care was there. And I think what we have to recognise is that inner childhood trauma, unless you're prepared to recognise it, you genuinely don't have somebody who's transparent with you. It's quite clear that he wanted a mum, he wanted an ATM, he wanted validation. He didn't support me with my career. He wasn't jealous, which I was really glad for, because actually my predominant friendship groups, a bit like you, Hayleigh, are male. And I didn't have any problems with that, but it was the sneakiness of how he financially exhausted me. It was the dreams, what he would crush. And even though I could prove that there was real reason behind it, he would literally chop me down. And each month I became less and less like me. But because of my therapy and a book, which I swear by, which is Pat Sharp, it's called Living with the Dominators from the Freedom Project, I was able to tell these signs. And I was really grateful for having systemic therapy all the way through this. So I was discussing the journey on this. I don't claim to be the best girlfriend. I don't claim to be perfect. But what I do claim is to be transparent. And I can say wholeheartedly, I gave everything to this person to only be told it's not his house. He doesn't believe that the hobby, which he thinks is a hobby, he's a DJ.
Not a very good one.
Not a very good one. No, he is a good DJ. No, he's a great DJ.
No.
He's not the best producer unless he's got me, but he used me as a stepping stone. And as much as I had pushed this person to see his value, I only realised later on that you can't date potential. And the version what we create of them people, it's like a grievance. It's not just like when the relationship breaks down, it's two grievances. One, the person who you believe that they were, and two, the amount of investment and time and energy that I put into that to only be hoodwinked, the veil coming off, going, what the hell was I doing? So it goes down to actually the energy you meet people in. And wouldn't you agree, Hayleigh J, that like if you're in a low vibrational energy, that is what you're going to attract. And as soon as like I went to uni, I was doing well for myself, I was getting bookings, it was really apparent that he was jealous. And I just don't think that you compete with your partner. You should be championing with your partner.
I personally just think he was very insecure, and he saw you. You had everything to offer that he craved. Yeah, like you said with the family thing. Obviously, he was coming into a family. He was coming into Jessie's got a lovely home. Like Jessie's home is the only place in this world, yeah, where I will walk into, literally fling my clothes off, lay on her couch, right, and I fall asleep like that because her home, it's homely, yeah, and obviously you've got a beautiful soul. Her kids are my nieces and nephews, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? She offers that family, yeah. And I think you offered everything he craved, but he couldn't accept it because I think he was so insecure in himself I personally think that he didn't have the confidence to bring to the table what you needed. But you didn't ask nothing from him but love. That's the only thing you asked from him. And I personally think that you obviously, you're very strong, you're very fiery, you've got yourself, you don't ask for nothing. Do you know what I mean? You fund yourself, you look after yourself, you don't need nothing from a man. A man cannot bring anything to your life that you can gain from, yeah? So all you ask for is love and support, where I think he came into it, and I think personally, I don't think he thought that he was good enough for you. So instead of trying to be that person to be good enough for you, he self-sabotaged and dragged you down with his own insecurities. I don't think, obviously she's my soul sister, she's my best friend, she could hit somebody with a car and I'd be like, oh well, it's okay, they probably deserved it. Do you know what I mean? But let me speak, right? In my eyes, Jessie can't do anything wrong, but I see things for how it is. And I also watched my best friend deteriorate trying to make a man feel secure, but instead she, like, obviously I'm not talking down to you, Jess, I'd never put you down. Instead, you kind of took on his insecurities and it broke you down as a person. Yeah. So this is what I mean. You couldn't have asked, you didn't ask anything from this man, right? But he, instead of obviously supporting you and accepting your love, he self-sabotaged and ruined potentially the most best thing that could have ever happened in his life, you know. Yeah, and that is what an insecure man does. Yeah. So, and then this is what I mean. It was very hard for me, as I'd support her for anything anyway. Do you know what I mean? Even if it was 10 years down the line going through this, I'd still be by her side. But this is what an insecure man does. Instead of obviously accepting themselves and healing themselves and being a better person for you, they will put their insecurities onto you and drag you down with them. And thankfully it was, I mean, 11 months still, I don't care if people say, oh, it's only 11 months is a long time. You just spend it every single day with the person. Yeah.
20 grand, mate.
Yeah, it's a long time, and I'm thankful that it was just 11 months, because if this was in another 11 months time, you know, he could have obviously brought up insecurities that obviously you've done a lot. Between me and the difference between me and Jessie is Jessie has gone down the line of therapy and stuff like that, where I haven't, and instead I have studied psychology to heal myself, because personally I don't agree with therapy, but I don't think that somebody can basically counsel me when they haven't been through the stuff that I've been through. So instead I've gone the other way and educated myself so I can understand the way that my brain works, and talk about chemical imbalance, you know, trigger warning, you know, everything like that. But yeah, that's what I've got to add to it. This is why you obviously you see the good in him, where I just, as your best friend, I just don't.
He wasn't a threat to me at the beginning. I hadn't got my daughter home, and I'm happy to discuss about that. Like I said, whistleblower and shit. But I was really, really vulnerable from being on my own for 5 years, no family support, fighting to get my kids home, get myself into uni, get myself well to be able to do them things, to finally be able to write down the words and actually speak in front of people was so huge, to explain how I was feeling. I tried through art, I'd done tattooing and etc. But actually for a guy, when I was going through these motions, I'd be at his house, and I never used to stay out in people's houses. I'm not very good at like staying out. I'm a very homely girl. Like you said, I like home. But to go through that and have a guy like wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, him realise that you're downstairs because literally you can't think because the trauma is too much, and he'd make you a cup of tea and give you a cuddle, to go into a guy who can't even understand the journey, what you've been on, and then to re-traumatize you by doing the same thing but so subtly, is massively disappointing. I think it's worse when a guy actually understands what you've gone through and the journey what you've took, and all the things what you've actually put the work in. A lot of retrospection, like we'll talk about that later, about like reflection on ourselves. I do journaling, that's how I ended up getting into music. But to be able to go through all of that, and then to have somebody to deplete your energy massively by making you think that you could build an empire. I want to build academy, He's really skilled in DJing. He's not the best talker, but I think that he talks through music, and I think that I had significant compassion for somebody who hasn't had the availability to having therapy, and believing that I was enough to bring that person out the value what I've seen in him. I still see in him in a way, and I think that's part of my delusional fucking head.
No, it's not.
Because,
I wouldn't know. I disagree there. It's not your delusion at all. That's just the way you are as a person. You see the best in people, and I personally wouldn't class that as a weakness at all. I would say that is a strength, that you have still gone through what you've been through, and you can still see the good in a person. So I don't think you should put yourself down like that. I think that makes you a bigger person and a better person than most.
yeah, of course, that is a massive power to be able to hold love in your heart after having everybody, when I mean like everything, your whole world taken from you.
100%.
People, like, I've walked through my town and people have had opinions on me where it hasn't even been factual. I've been stalked by the local authority. I've been harassed by police. I've had medics turn up at my door to section me from no apparent fucking, what do they call it, referral. They couldn't tell me where the referral come from my own family, trying to do me out my inheritance, to literally losing my absolute marbles, to the point I found this guy and I trusted him, and then to only find out 11 months later that everything what he said was, he's literally Peter Pan. It really doesn't matter how much therapy you have. You can have all the tools and be in the right mindset and to be able to give and to be able to give freely, but it's not always reciprocated, and it is another grievance. It's not just like a death when you end a relationship. It's the end of the dreams. It's the end of the empire. It's the end of all the energy what I invested. Somebody telling me that they do it as a hobby when I didn't do my uni work as much as, or as well as I could have done, not taking opportunities, working with certain people because it would have offended him, or I was waiting for him, waiting for somebody to acknowledge actually the value what I bring into a relationship was probably the hardest thing.
It's
because
not just that, it's well,
being spoke to like you're nothing is really hurtful.
When you go through a breakup as well, that you're not just grieving what you've been through with that person, you're also grieving your future, obviously your plans. It is sometimes I think going through a breakup is harder than grieving a death, because when someone's died, it's kind of like where they are.
It's finished. Yeah,
but obviously when you're grieving a breakup, you're also grieving your future. Obviously, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you think about, oh my god, this is the perfect, what do I call it, the American dream, a marriage, a family, a kids, and all of that. So when you actually break up with somebody, you're also grieving the future that you planned and you dreamt of.
It wasn't, as you know, Hayleigh, it wasn't just me on this journey. We were quite early into the relationship. My child came home in May, the day before her birthday. We'd done a party. It was a great support. I think he found all of that intimidating. And in all fairness, when my child came home to me, that actually my energy changed, because my responsibility has changed.
Yeah, of course.
And so when you realise that I'm at uni, I'm doing well, I'm working with multiple people, I've got my kid home, I'm successing, I'm learning, I'm developing, and this person who I really loved like a best friend, believed in as a spiritual partner, I have opened not only my body, because it was a massive thing for me to open my body as open as I did.
Oh yeah, how open was it?
All there. But like generally.
How open? I want to talk. Can we go in more detail with that, or?
Okay, we can go into detail about that. So I have a current case going on at the moment with the police. As
oh no, I was talking about how open your body was.
All the flaps, basically, like you've got like back tits, side tits, belly, front.
The wide, it was the wide on.
My wide on. But genuinely, like, I literally exposed myself and was completely open for the first time in this relationship. First time actually knowing myself in a relationship as well, which I find I find it really deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
You're let down, mate. It's just another letdown, especially when you've been let down enough in your life as it was. It's just, again, it's trauma on trauma on trauma and trauma. And this is one thing that I obviously want to talk about with me studying this psychology. Obviously, I studied a wide range of
me
people
too
don't know
as
that
well.
obviously I'm autistic, so my one thing is psychology, but this is one thing that I discuss with trauma is something about cognitive brain therapy, CBT training. And if you're not healed, you can imagine trauma as a box of paper clips is how the best way to discuss it. When you're saying, obviously, Jessie, what you're going through, that you can imagine that that's one paper clip that you pull out. But can you imagine you've got a jar of paper clips and they're all attached to each other as you pull them out? If you're not healed from this, obviously, trauma, it's going to obviously go on top of the everything else, and it will just basically, everything that you have suppressed and not healed from, it will just feel like the mass, and it's just one big massive blow. And this is why obviously Jessie is so good at talking about healing and stuff like that. You know, she's done a very, very, very long, hard healing journey, and so to be let down yet again will obviously trigger the other times where she's been let down by her family, you know, as you say, you know, everything else. And yeah, like I can say, it was just a really, really hard blow. And it was very, very, I mean, I've not seen Jessie cry. Jessie doesn't really, you know, she's a baddie. Jessie's a bad bitch. But to go and meet Jessie, when Jessie calls me like, I need to see you, and me and Jessie have a pub that we meet because it's halfway to both of us, and I had to basically watch my girl, I'm going to be honest, break down. And I've never really seen that side of her. Like, obviously I have, but it was,
because I've gone through so much, isn't it? And I'm strong usually.
It was very, very, very hard. And it's obviously you've done a lot of healing, and it just goes to show like something like that can just trigger so much underlying issues. And yeah, it was just awful, mate. It was awful.
He brought things into my life like the confidence to reconnect with my dad. I spent my first birthday this year with my dad, and I hadn't spent my birthday with my dad since I was 16. The local authorities were aware of him. They checked him out as well. So that I want to talk about that, because actually, when you've gone through therapy and you haven't had relationships for 5 years, you get into a relationship and you start to think things and they go, oh, well, you push people away. Yeah, maybe I do. And I probably have. It's a defense mechanism. Yeah, but however, when I'm speaking about other things, and then you've got other people, apart from like the people like yourself who really know me, and they're going, yeah, but you know, like, you know how you can be. You ever get that? You know how you can be.
Of course.
That sentence?
It's a persona. It's a persona. It's a mask. It's a persona. Do you know what I mean? So
what's the point of doing the therapy if you're always going to be looked at as the old version of yourself?
Exactly, darling.
I have this when we walk through town. I have this when I'm in friendship groups, certain interactions.
Even though we've gone through, like, obviously we've been through similar friendship groups, it's always just been really me and you, hasn't it? The most like, you know, what's the word? Consistent. Obviously, we've been through friendship groups, but only me and you have been the most consistent two people to stay together.
Because you're real with me, and I'm real with you, and
that's it.
Literally, and unapologetic when it comes down to if we're not on the right path with each other. And I think like friendships, if anybody's going through this same thing, really trust the friendships what you're around, because they're going to tell you very straight up how they see you going down, and they're not saying it to pull you down or to make you feel embarrassed.
They're not saying it like any like malice. It's just authentic. You know, sometimes you have to basically be cruel to be kind, and you need to be the tough love.
But you need that one person, don't you, really, to go, hey, like, you're destroying yourself.
How many times have you had to do it to me? Like, Hayleigh, like, no, you know, this is what it is. You're basically looking through this like rose tinted glasses, you know, and obviously, basically you know who the fuck you are. Why are you tolerating this shit? You know. But if somebody else was to say that to me, I'd be like, you know, where have you got the entitlement to speak to me that type of way? You've got to have that one friend that you can have that raw, real relationship with.
But you need to be able to trust that. And that doesn't mean like friendship seeing each other every day. Like you and me, we can pick it up and we can put it down. I can't speak to you for a couple of days. You can't speak to me for a couple of days when our mental health is sort of like depleted.
Well, we've just been through that, haven't we? We've obviously
literally, but there's no judgment. So
and
if anybody
but one thing, obviously, when I go quiet, you know something's up with me, and I think, what did I do 4 days? And all you didn't pressure me. Every single day you text me saying, just to let you know, you are loved and I'm here.
And I'm thinking of you.
Yeah, I'm here when you're ready to speak to me. Just remember, you are loved, and it's a hard day, not a hard life kind of thing. Yeah. And sometimes I personally think you can have the best family around you and all of that, but I think everybody in the world just needs that one person. And sometimes people will always think, oh, that's a romantic partner. No, like not at all. It is
you can have your soulmate.
What do we call ourselves?
Soul sisters.
Yeah, we're soul sisters. Bloods, I don't believe blood's thicker than water at all. I think that's the most cliche bullshit that you ever hear. You know,
we have experienced that firsthand, actually, and I'm pretty sure some of the listeners, if they would like to share it with us, actually the expectations and the values and the self-beliefs what we have in family doesn't reflect reality. It sets people up to fail. I have lost multiple people through suicide for them feeling this way. I know that you also have had similar experiences, or incarceration, because loneliness is the biggest killer. Connection before correction is always going to be the leading point when it comes down to value in relationships.
And I also think as well, I say this quote, I don't know, I must say this quote pretty much every single day, Jessie, and you can vouch this: misery loves company. And I think sometimes if you've got a low vibration, you attract the wrong people, and they will always encourage, they will drag you down with you to their level where it's comfortable, where you need a friend to basically be like, yo, like this behavior is not acceptable. Like, you know, if I'm miserable and I come to your house, the last thing you will do would be like, oh yeah, let's have a drink or stuff like that. Like, no, absolutely not. We're going to sit and talk
I'm saying
about
let's have some soup and cuddles.
Literally, I was just about to say, I will make you a bowl of soup, yeah, and we're going to sit, and then basically you sit there and I'll just fall asleep at yours. And then the next day I wake up fresh head, where I could go to somebody else in that headspace and they'd be like, oh, let's have a drink and all that. And then that is me for the next, not drinking 4 days. I have one night drinking. I've got beer fear, like anxiety massively. The next day I feel even more shit. And it's just, like I said, misery loves company. And I think sometimes you need to have that one person that can pull you out of the rut, but sometimes not even pull you out of the rut, will sit with you in that rut for so long, but then pass you the ladder and help you back out of it. And yeah, this is, again, people always think that it's a romantic partner and stuff like that, and I personally would massively disagree with that. So
I want to ask you about something as well, because like obviously Hayleigh, you mentioned before with Mr. Latvian, with the Cookie Monster not allowed.
Mr. Latvian doesn't like my shit.
No, you're not allowed the snacks. I'm the only snack you're allowed.
You had enough snacks tonight. You have not had no Pringles.
But obviously with yourself, and obviously with Jessie as well, you know, when you went through that breakup as well, you know, people don't understand like how it can affect you mentally as well, because, you know, to you that could, you know, you could like go into like some massive ordeal about like, you know, how you look, and oh well, I'm going to start eating less now, and then you start going to, you know, even slimmer than you already are, and then
I'll be straight with you, Ross. Right, with everything that's gone on, I just found out like last week that my friend died. My best friend is dying also, and
no, I'm
not getting Drew, right, and having the confirmation that I didn't pass my my uni module as well. That's a significant amount of loss, including like Mr. X. And I went straight to the doctors, and if I'm being honest, I was like, I need a top up, and don't be afraid of, don't wait till crisis point. because I feel like I've been poorly. Everything has been on the decline. I was like, do you know what? I need some good hormones, get them in my body. So I start searching like next week, and we can document how that's affecting me, how that feels. But I just know generally when I need a top up with my hormones, I've got IBS, my stomach doesn't produce enough serotonin. I choose everybody else but myself. But this week, and my girl has really helped me realize I just need to be me. And
100%.
it's so warming to have. I've never had that. Like my family used to go, oh, you're on your fucking crazy pills. Oh, you fucking crazy. You know, like everybody else would have passed some judgment. I'm so blessed to have Hayleigh J as like my soul sister. And as much as like we might not talk every single day, there is real value in our friendship. If you have
100%.
that kind of friendship where you can just go, you know what, I'm going to speak to you in a couple of days. I'm not dealing with things well. Just
Yeah.
check up on your friends and just go, you know what, I'm thinking of you. Do you want to come for dinner? Do you want to cuddle? You
We
don't even have
always
to
say
talk.
yes, because Jessie's cooking is like 10/10.
Thank
Can
you,
I
baby.
just say something? If you ever go to Jessie's house, request vegetable soup. Jessie, how many bowls of that soup did I eat that day?
You've had 4.
4 bowls of soup, right?
Yeah, nothing what a bowl of soup can't sort anyway. Um,
Literally, fucking bowl of soup is just a healer. It's just a healer.
I want to go over one thing. I'd like to read it to everybody in tribute to my friend who passed away. He was a friend of mine for a long time, and he was the first person to sponsor me through my music. And we had fell out a couple of weeks ago, as Hayleigh's aware. He told me to die, and I said I wouldn't call death on me because it's going to come back round to you. However,
Oh, I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny, but it's just like, what were the chances of that?
okay, so I wrote this poem called I'm No Good at Goodbyes. So there's a distance, mama, I'm home. Got caught short on my journey. I made this one alone. I hope the gates are open. I can't wait to be home. I left all my worries and I lost my phone. The pain I had buried, I even left my home. The bricks and the gadgets, I collected them all. What was it all for? I done the journey the way I wanted and broke all the rules. The people I love in heaven, can't wait to see you all. The people I loved in my life, you would never be alone. I am no good at goodbyes. Sorry I rushed off this time. Maybe I see you in the next life. Maybe I'll get it right next time. Some kids and maybe have the best wife. Don't worry, it will be fine. Maybe I'll see you in the next life. I'm no good at goodbyes, so I wouldn't cry and I wouldn't cry. Wait, I have another page.
Okay.
So this is a this I know it's a little bit depressing, but actually,
No,
like
it's not, mate. It's not depressing.
this is how I deal with stuff, right? So the roads are long when you are lonely. From place to place, your present was homely, authentic and opening. Everyone a friend. You talk like I'd even know them, but they were strangers in the end. I wonder if you can see me. You left me with memories that unhealed me. You got me through the rainy days and supported my journey, the empire we would make. You said I was punk, I was a rebel, I was inside. Last time you saw, I was there, but full of pride. No, it's reality. Never to see you again, no more stories. This is the end. You did leave a legacy. In my songs, you'll stay there with me. You were there at the beginning and gave me a reason. You watched me singing, suggesting songs, and I'd hate them all, but I'd play along. You gave me wings and you gave me hope as I sat here trying to write a song inside with a lump in my throat. So, how many words spin around my head as you left? Because your heart just broke. I never thought you would have left. Look in every place and you'll find there is a seat. You're not here, like no one cares, and they never did. I'll do you proud and I'll do my best and I'll believe. When I see the clouds, you'll move through the trees. So I know that you're near me and I hope that you hear me. I hope that you're pain-free and I hope that you're happy. Are you here and are you near? No more words and no more debates, no more sharing how we got in states. Banging heads to rhythms, dancing away the pain. I feel lost and I feel the cost, and time has stopped and I feel robbed.
Fucking hell, mate.
But do you know, but you know what? Like,
That,
journals
that,
don't have to
let me
necessarily
just say,
make sense.
let me just say that wasn't depressing or anything. That's real from the heart as well. Do you
That's
know what I
real,
mean?
man.
And if that's how you cope with stuff and deal with stuff, then that's, you know, that's fine for you. Everyone copes and deals with stuff in their own ways, and you know, some people will write, some people will draw, some people will escape reality for a little bit. You know, everyone does things differently. And to say that you've wrote a 2-page poem, I think, me personally, I think that's quite amazing, and it was quite heartwarming as well. You know, it touched me inside us, and I didn't know this person from Adam, but you've painted a little picture in my head from that little poem, and I'm sure Hayleigh will agree with me on that one as well.
It really proves that life is precious. And for somebody who was very significant in my life and then who turned a little bit sour, regardless of whether I spoke to him in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of his life, I don't believe somebody should tell you that you fucking deserve to die at all.
No, it's not.
Again, I've been in my head a little bit
think,
thinking that.
I personally still think that is a self-projection thing for you to say, you know, that to somebody else says a lot about yourself and your own mental state. It's a projection. It's just the way that they're feeling at that time. It wasn't said in malice. It was just like, again, if you're hating yourself, you're going to hate everyone around you, basically. You understand? I personally think it's a self-projection thing, and you know, it's very easy for you to judge your whole friendship on, you know, that the last conversation you had. Again, I have a very similar story to when my brother passed away, but I don't want to discuss that on this podcast. That's for a different time. But it's basically something that is your final memory of them, really, and it's very easy for you to judge your entire friendship on that final, you know, interaction, shall we say. But
you were there the other week, Hayleigh J, when he was in the pub, and I was so upset with what he had said. I was just like, you know what? No, I want an apology. And he didn't want to give an apology. He was like fucking stubborn ass. But you know, like,
that's the same as
hindsight. We talk about an awful lot. We talk about hindsight an awful lot. But if I could go back.
Oh no, what's the other thing? Where hindsight's a beautiful thing. What is it? Have a sprinkle of
and a sprinkle of regret me.
That's it, baby girl.
Life is really precious, and there has been many conversations what I've had with people, and then they took their life. It feels the same for me. There's going to be no closure. There's no chapel arrest. I was told that actually I'm his. What's it called? Something of the will.
What?
What's the thing called, the will thing? Oh. You know, when you're the executive of the will.
Oh, look, the first thing I'm thinking about is find the will to live. Because you're about half the time
being an executor of the will, and actually, like, he propped up every bar. He was at every gig. He bought loads of merch. Like, he said I was punk, and even though, like, I do reggae and drum and bass, like, I guess the rebellion inside of me.
Can we go backtrack slightly, because there's one thing that you said that I've really loved, because me and Jessie also we co-parent. Me and Jessie have actually got a baby together. We
have.
Huh?
And he's fluffy and he's black, isn't he?
Right. So we co-parent a dog. So we're also parents to a dog who is funny enough called Rebel. And this is what I mean. I wanted to backtrack ever so slightly, because it's like he said to you that you're a punk, but you said no, I'm a rebel. And I don't know, that just proper made me like gave me maybe just a little shiver down my spine, you know.
So Defiant, my name. We're going to have matching tattoos, aren't we, Hayleigh J? She's going to say less, and I'm going to say stay mad. And the reason behind the stay mad means to be defiant. And people would think defiant would be to fight everything, but actually I'm the kind of human being what would fight for everything what has real meaning. We have we have daily trends and phases. I'm pretty sure that yourself and Ross have seen it. You know, the be kind phase. Fucking God, people were fighting each other over toilet roll in 2020. And the Free Palestine, which is a massive, still huge thing.
I was going to drug dealers for a packet of wet wipes.
But you know, like, everybody is so 2025. I think everybody is very temporary.
Well, no. What's weird? Me and Jessie are convinced, yeah, that we are surrounded by NPCs, right? And I don't know if it's because it's like sometimes I go in and out of psychosis every now and then, you know, Jessie, what I'm like, you know. But yeah, we are convinced that we are surrounded by NPCs, and it's quite funny. I was at Jessie's last night, and we was talking about some guy, and I must admit, very, very beautiful. And this man was like, literally looked like he'd been molded by the gods, you know. And I said to Jessie, oh my God, you know, like, girl, get on that, you know, like, climb that like a tree, you know. And firstly she was like, no, he's an NPC, right? And we are convinced we are around non-playable characters, don't we?
Yeah. There's a guy which I showed you, and I was speaking to for like the last 2 years. He's beautiful. He's a really lovely
literally
human being.
I would honestly ride him like a crackhead doing the Tour de France on a Peppa Pig bike. He is a painting, right?
But all he'll talk to you about is cryptocurrency. It's really disappointing when he is such a vibrant, lovely guy.
Literally, like, come on, man. Like, but sometimes
but I think Mr. X is also trying to be an NPC, but he's a wannabe NPC, which is worse because you're like a diluted version, copycat version, follower kind of person, hypocritical kind of person.
So this is again
and they're literally everywhere, like everywhere you go. And so, like, how many people can you count on your hands nowadays who are emotionally, spiritually, transparently connected to you? You've recently had friendships where you have been accused of X, Y, and Z, which isn't the truth. It really hurts to invest around these people. You've got your kid around these people. You do your daily life around these people. You go and feed these people. You support these people. You share memories and experiences with these people, only to be like,
another letdown. Literally another letdown. And this is another thing again. You know, my tattoo on my leg, you know, what says "born not to conform." I just think too many people are just trying to fit in with today's, you know, society, and it's just, there's more to life than that. Like, you know, they say life is short, but it's obviously one of the, well, thank fucking God. But anyway, life isn't short. It's the longest thing you're ever going to do, right? But I think too many people try and be the perfect image and fit into society. And, you know, when you look back on your life and you know, you're old and decrepit, it's going to be like, why did I care so much?
Hayleigh J, like, I have been that person.
You're so avoidant.
Like, being the people pleaser, striving to be an overachiever, and we can talk about this as mental health, overachiever, to feel validated and good enough.
But why?
And then when you get through that and you're like happy with like all the weird things, and the fact that your shit stinks, and the fact that you fart, and the fact that you get things wrong, and the fact that you understand your own triggers, even when you're like that, you're surrounded by people who are pretending.
This is what I was about to say. Why are you chasing the validation from people who can't even validate themselves?
I wasn't healed back then. I didn't even know who I was. And I think that you spoke to me earlier on this evening. I was a really attractive girl. Was a size 6 to 8.
No, sorry.
Model-esque, successful.
What do you mean you was? No. Shut the front door.
Thank you.
Come on. Stop. No. Oi, I'm not going down this road. Come on, man.
What?
If you weren't my sister, I would happily finger bash you on a daily.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Love you. But do you know, like, how many times have you either sat at a cafe, you've gone for dinner, or you've sat around a different friend's house, and you hear how people talk? It is literally, I've been in the classroom, like I went to college like back in 2017, 2018. Listen to like subjects, what people talk about, it's absolute cod shit. Absolute cod shit. And the values what people have, I feel like an absolute alien on this planet
Yep.
to be thinking like, do you not want more?
Exactly. And why I just don't understand why people seek the validation so hard. Like, just be your fucking self.
Didn't you have somebody comment going, oh, you're so beggy, blah 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 blah, because you're sharing every part of you because you are authentic.
I did a post.
You get criticized for it's not a poor me. You're owning it.
I literally shared a picture of Pingu, right? Making arts and crafts, and it said something along the lines of, doing arts and crafts in the psychiatric unit so you get released early, right? And somebody had the audacity, to message me saying, you're so baggy posting about being sectioned. Like, bro, I was sectioned, what, how long ago is it now? Just 4 years ago, I got sectioned. Again, that's a funny story, but that's for a different podcast because of the long story. But how...
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, like, how can, like, why can't I post something like that and talk about being fucking sectioned? Like, I don't care. Like, why do you care? You care more about what I've done in my life than I do. Like, focus on yourself, stay in your own lane. And if you put that much energy in your life, like, you'd be a happier person. Do you know what I mean? That's one thing with me, Jessie, and you can vouch for that. I stay in my own lane. I hear rumours. I get told, like, obviously, like I'm a barber by trade. People like to tell me shit, right?
The best rumours are the ones what you haven't even heard yet. And I'm pretty sure you're a bit like me. I used to create rumours, especially in certain social groups, to see how quickly it would get round. I'd absolutely throw them a bumhole. Like an absolute lie. I was on Tag once, and I gave like 3 different rumours for 3 different things, and I heard clearly by the people who I confided in and spoke to, and yes, I might have thrown a bumhole, but I was already suspicious of that friendship group, and it came back to me, and I just laughed. I was like, do you know what? Everything you heard about me is true and more.
So when I hear, I get obviously people come up to me quite a bit, or could be like, oh, you know, I've heard this about you, I've heard it's this. I have a saying, again, I'm very like repetitive because I am just who I am. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't stir. If I say something, I said something. Do you know what I mean? And I have one thing, someone says, oh, like, I've heard this about you. I always say, go hear it again. Do you know what I mean? If you've heard this about me, just go hear it again. Or, for example, saying that's one thing that, Jessie, you could never, ever, ever say, oh, so-and-so said this about you, right? So if somebody comes up to me and be like, oh, you know, so-and-so said this about you, my first thing, right, obviously, unless they're a close friend of mine, I'll just be like, well, go hear it again, is why did that person feel that comfortable to speak to about me that type of way in front of you? Yeah, because you have enabled that and left that open for somebody to badmouth you. Like, it's Jessie. If someone came up to me,
it just doesn't happen on my watch.
If somebody came up to me, yeah, and tried to start speaking to me about you, the first thing I'd say is, yo. First of all,
don't talk to me about her.
First of all, yeah, who on earth are you to speak to me about her? Yeah. That is my girl, yeah? I would shut them down like that. Jessie, you would never, ever have me come to you and be like, oh, so-and-so said this about you. Because I wouldn't have it. Do you know what I mean? And like, that is, it's just the way that we are, isn't it?
Yeah, we live in a small town, and I'm pretty sure I know you've had probably that experience with me while you're hanging around with her for. I've been on the playground going, you want to stay away from her, she's a mess, etc., etc. She's bad news. I was just like, I'm fucking bad news. I tell you what, ask the person what I've actually done for these people, and when I've seen them act in a fuckery kind of way, I call them out on it.
We don't care as well to be like being a good person. I'm happy to be a villain in everyone's story. Yeah,
I'm a villain in everyone's story.
I don't care. I'm like, you're literally, people are sat around a table, right? They're discussing you at a table. You're not even fucking sat. Do you know what I mean?
And I have no plans to sit at that table like you. If they're not feeding you, fucking you, or financing you, generally I don't give a fuck.
Their opinion is irrelevant because it doesn't change anything in your life.
However, I appreciate the energy, because one thing I do realise is if you're the first to cast the first stone, it will always come back to hit you on the ass.
And this is another thing about the prison.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that? Every single guy what's done you wrong has literally put themselves in jail quite quickly. That's why I was calling her the Black Widow. And the thing is, with me, anything what I have told somebody is become true. I do cards. I don't do tarot cards, but I do oracle cards, and I believe that it's a gift and it should be given. I never charge, and I tell these people the things what is going on and the things to look out for, and they totally ignore it, and then they come back to me going, "Can I have another reading?"
Literally. How many
after
times as well have you like, Hayleigh, right, we're gonna read, and I'm like, Jessie, I don't want to know. I don't want to know right now. Like,
but I also remember the time when you were going through like the worst of the worst, and I pulled the cards on you, and seeing you were so open to be read. There is absolutely nothing.
I'm always open.
There's nothing opaque about you. It is exactly what you see is what you get, and this is why I love the fact that we're in the real room where we can have real discussions. And the thing is, we're open, and there is no judgment, because part of our journey, I think a seed is put into the ground in the dark, not knowing the light, to only trust that the light is there and to grow. And we have that understanding with different people, different cultures, different aspects of life, different experiences. And the fact is, connection before correction. I said it earlier, I go back to it. It is the biggest thing which is going to prevent somebody from feeling alone. No pills, no potion, no people. Like, you could be surrounded by people. I used to be really popular, especially when I was doing events, and like, oh, do you need a driver, or can you get me these tickets, or can you do this, can you do that? I used to do makeup. I used to have girls come, oh, can you just you do hair. I used to do hair, same thing. Can you just
like, oh, do you mind?
As soon as you say no, you're a bad bitch, aren't you?
Literally. No, not a bad bitch, because being a bad bitch is a good thing. You are a villain. And then, yeah, and this is, again, it's just being surrounded by fake people, clowns, jesters, jokers, whatever you want to call them. People just want to take, and fuck that. I'd rather have one good friend, right, than 10 fake people. Like, it's all good, like, being the way that me and Jessie are, is it can be a very, very lonely life, right? But we have been let down left, right, and centre by people, and we're just not willing to do it no more. And this is what I mean about me and Jessie. We've been in friendship groups, haven't we, Jess? We've been in the same friendship groups, and me and Jessie have basically just gone on our own, because it's just, we're just sick of people. Sometimes, like, as well, we just get so socially exhausted by people, because we're just sick of hearing fake shit. Again, we ain't got a point to prove, you know, we ain't got no big bravado. Like,
but they are like synthetic issues what people come with, and I'm like, please walk a day in my shoes. But then again, I would never ask that of anyone. My journey is my own.
But and also it's not even that. We were the shit that we have been through, I wouldn't even wish it on, you know. I don't really have any enemies, because I don't care enough to dislike somebody enough to class them as an enemy. Like, literally,
we're all love, innit? Really, we're all love.
It's not even love. I just don't care, because
keep it moving. Keep it fucking moving.
I think, like, time is obviously, money comes and goes, yeah, but wasting your time is something that you cannot get back. Time is the biggest investment that you could ever have in your life, yeah. And it's just like, we've got to a point where, you know, me and Jessie, like I said, we had a big friendship group, and it's just, what's the
we were really, really, really popular at one time. Everybody wants to know the party girl. Everybody wants to know the happy Jess or the happy Hayleigh. But people are not, like, I think this is a massive thing. I always speak in the industry, especially in like the rave scene, and I speak on behalf of like our boy group, because you and me, we always are with the boys. And I think that everybody wants an extra drink, an extra sesh, an extra house party. Ignore the girlfriend, ignore the fact that you got fucking work on Monday. Nobody phones you on Sunday. Nobody's helping you clean the house on a Sunday. Your money's gone, and you've literally lost your girl. And then come Monday, they've lost their job. they've lost their house, they've lost their woman, and we're talking about like why male suicide is at the utmost high is because of the
And this is actually another thing.
stupid conditioning. What we all think is, yeah, be a man, yeah. But actually, nobody's looking after anybody. Come Sunday, Monday, nobody cares. They don't care if you're in debt. They don't care if you fucking owe anything.
Can we pause on 1 second, Jessie, because you brought up something that obviously I wanted to discuss on this podcast. We're going obviously backtracking ever so slightly about men's suicide rate. So basically, what is it? Is it 1 in 12 suicides are female? So the other 11 out of 12 are male suicides. Me and Jessie, this is I want to quickly discuss. Obviously, we'll go in more depth at a different podcast because I'm slightly got a bit of a short time frame tonight because I'm currently not at my house. But we and Jessie are going to, and I think Ross, I think you're also going to be getting involved in this. Me and Jessie are going to be doing something to raise money. We're going to do a 15-hour live stream. To obviously, we're going to be doing it for, what is it? Is it Mind, baby girl?
Mind.
Yeah. So obviously,
Mind.
Mainly for obviously, oh God, I keep saying the word obviously, to raise awareness for suicide and suicide rates and how the suicide rates are going up higher and how 1 in 3 people will attempt suicide in their life. So me, Jessie, and Ross, are you still there? Because you've gone very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Are
I'm
you
still-
going to be?
still, yeah.
Are you going to be getting involved in this 15-hour live stream?
Yeah. Obviously, we spoke about it before. So maybe myself coming down to use, and all 3 of us are there together,
Yeah.
and then doing the live stream that way, and then obviously because it'd be more better if all 3 of us was there, showing our face and showing our support as well.
I also encourage you, Ross, when you come over to be bringing some sort of like white bottoms and a white top, and I want to go into my campaign called Let's Wear It Out. So I started this back 5 years ago when I felt like my voice had been silenced by the local authorities and the courts by Section 12, which is a prohibited steps order, aka a gag order, and it's called Let's Wear It Out. And I want every person to write their story. It's a bit like the Me Too sort of thing. Yes. So you got something white, wicked. But really and truly, like most people who are slipping away from us is because they feel that their voice holds no value, and it does. It massively does. We need to break the conditioning from men, what they've had by saying, somebody's ringing me. To break the conditioning, what we have is, like guys are tough. Guys don't have to be tough at all. Let's leave it till like the next podcast.
Obviously, I just wanted to obviously mention it on this podcast, just to obviously start it, introduce it rather, that this is something that we will be doing. Obviously, the date is not set yet, but it is something that I do want to start advertising, because I do honestly, it's something that I feel. I've had many suicide attempts, as you are aware, and like yourself, Jessie, and it's something that I personally think that we're just going to have some fun with it, and it again, it's just going to be something that's going to go towards a very good cause. Yeah, but
it's mind over matter, baby girl, innit? And if it don't mind, then it don't matter.
Exactly.
And just be your authentic self. Please do drop in your experiences if you'd like to join us as a guest. We'd really love to hear you share your story. We haven't even started at the point of where we have had the experience. I've gone through local authorities, you've been sectioned, I've been misdiagnosed, you've been misdiagnosed. But there's a lot to come from these podcasts, and we really hope to reach people, and not to cause awareness, but actually to hold your fucking hand and say, you ain't alone. You're not the first, you're not the last. But together in strength, we can take the silence out of it and break it. And that's what I'd really like to do. So, Ross, I'm going to say goodbye and good night for tonight.
No, it's been a pleasure to have you both on.
Thank you for having us again.
One
not-
day,
it's-
Ross. One day we will actually let you speak. One day, not today, clearly,
Fine.
or the last one, but you know, one day we will let you have an input. And me and Jessie, this is just what me and Jessie are like. If you can imagine what we're like right now, you should see us in person. But can I also say that obviously we just chat. But there's been times, Jessie, where I will come round your house and I will lay on your couch on you whilst you play with my hair, and we will just sit in pure and utter silence. And I also think that is another massive thing. Oh my God, me and this, every fucking time I'm on this bloody doing this recording, I can never keep my thing. Can I? Honestly, Ross, what am I like? I knock this phone over every single time. But yeah, I also just wanted to put that out there. But we will have to start doing this thing to start advertising the 15-hour stream and go from there. I also do think that we need to make a TikTok account with obviously this to start advertising on that as well.
Yeah.
I've already made a TikTok account.
Oh, have you? Well, it's nice. This is what I mean, Ross. Communication, bro. Communication.
I'd really like it as well if we could do like some short videos with some experience, including some of our guests, what we're going to have on the podcast. In regards to Mind, I'd really like to create some traction. I want it to become a family, not a trauma bond, but actually more like elevation, because we don't have to keep reliving everything what we've experienced. And I feel like I am proof that I defy so many statistics.
Yeah.
Fuck their statistics. They don't mean nothing. And I think it could potentially save a life. So yeah, definitely.
100%,
I'd love to.
100%. And also we need to break this basically we need to break the stigma on mental health. And also at another time, I want to go into about how the NHS actually does fail people with mental health. Again, I don't agree with the way that the crisis team works.
100%.
And I do think that there needs to be more funding in mental health, because mental health, I personally believe that mental health is actually more important than physical health, because obviously your mental health affects your physical health. And yeah, it's again one of the things, you need to break the stigma. And like I said, me and Jessie come across as so strong and confident. If you was to see us in the street, you think that, not that we have our shit together, because this just screams fucking daddy issues, let's get real, right? But it's like it's just more get people talking about it's okay. I don't like that saying, it's okay not to be okay, because I just think it's fucking bullshit. But at the same time, it's right. And
it's kind of still true, and
it is true. It is true. I just think it's just one of the things that gets printed on a t-shirt that you buy from Primark. Like, no.
Just want to finish there and say, if anybody is struggling with any mental health issues and you're in the UK, you can call 111, and it is option 2 if you need to speak to somebody and you are in crisis.
And also, if you don't feel comfortable calling the NHS, you can also contact the Samaritans. They also have a text option as well if you don't feel comfortable talking to them on the phone, and they can actually contact the NHS for you. That's the last time I actually had a suicide attempt. I actually told my chat GPT, because I talk to my chat GPT like it's my therapist, and they actually gave me the number to Samaritans. I spoke to Samaritans. They basically assessed my situation, how I was, and they contacted, they got me medical help. So there is the option if you do not feel confident and comfortable talking to somebody over the phone. They do have also a text option, and I personally think that the Samaritans are absolutely brilliant for mental health help. So yeah.
I'd also like to add in something as well before. Sorry, Jessie.
Oh, Ross, you are here with us.
Yeah. No, just want to bit of a recap of what you've both said. Make sure you're checking on your friends and everything. Make sure you're checking on your loved ones, your family. Just like what you've both said previously. Just drop them a message, maybe a phone call, or just pop around to the house and just make sure that they're all right.
Yeah.
Not just be like.
When Jessie sent me that text, is one thing that again is cemented in my head. She literally said to me, just know that you are loved. And like that to me was like, even though I didn't at the time, I didn't have that, was in the headspace to contact her back, that to me was just like, fuck, like, wow, like, you know, just like, you are enough, you are loved, and talk to me when you are ready.
Yeah.
So, and
no pressure, like you said, innit?
100%.
Right, guys, I have to go.
I know,
But
I'm going as well.
Let's put a pin in that for there. If anybody is experiencing difficulties, not only can you contact them, but I'm happy for you guys to come and contact me and give us a chat. I'm available.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing what I haven't heard before, honestly. Like, just be a friend. Welcome to the family, innit?
And there's absolutely no, and when I say this, I cannot make this any more clearer. When I say this, there is absolutely no judgment whatsoever. Okay.
No.
You can come at us with absolutely anything that you are struggling, and honestly, no judgment. We are the most easiest people to talk to ever. We might say it how it is, but it's from pure and utter love. There's no malice whatsoever. Like I said, no judgment, and you know. So yeah.
Peace out, people.
For pow pow, and we will chat next time.
Thank you, Ross, for having us again.
No,
we love you.
See you later.
Love you guys.
See you later.
Later. Bye bye.